Amidst the vast forests and cool streams of Vietnam's southeastern region lives a community deeply harmonized with nature, the Stieng people. Though not a large or widely publicized ethnic group, the Stieng carry within them a rich and distinct cultural heritage, closely tied to the mountains, forests, upland fields, and unique festivals. The name Stieng may be unfamiliar to many in the lowlands, but for residents of Binh Phuoc, Tay Ninh, Lam Dong, and provinces bordering Cambodia, the Stieng are neighbors, classmates, colleagues, and a representative embodiment of an enduring indigenous culture in this region. Today, the Stieng mainly reside in Binh Phuoc province, especially in districts like Bu Dang, Bu Gia Muerp, Loc Ninh, Hun Quan, and Phuoc Long. Smaller populations can also be found in areas bordering Tay Ninh, Dak Nong, Lam Dong, and the Cambodia-Vietnam border region. They typically live in clustered settlements called buon or sok, similar to villages, located in hilly or forested areas near streams, croplands, and hunting grounds. Each buon or sok is usually led by a village elder or a respected figure, someone not only in charge of community affairs but also a custodian of the group's cultural heritage. According to the 2019 national census, the Stieng population in Vietnam is around 85,000, placing them among mid-sized ethnic minority groups. Although not as populous as larger groups like the Tay, Thai, or Muong, the Stieng are known for their strong communal ties, collective spirit, and cultural pride. They speak their own language, part of the Mundé Khmer branch of the Austroasiatic language family. The Stieng language is earthy and robust, closely related to the Mar and Manong languages, and has been passed down orally through generations. Unfortunately, due to globalization and the rise of formal education, many young Stieng no longer use their mother tongue in daily life. Nonetheless, village elders, folk artists, and cultural preservation programs are working to revive, teach, and safeguard the Stieng language as an essential element of their spiritual and cultural legacy. The Stieng are not a homogeneous group, but are divided into various subgroups, each with unique customs and traditions. Some notable subgroups include Bulo, mainly found in Bu Dang, Binh Phuoc. They have retained many traditional practices, from ceremonial rites to farming techniques. Bu Dek, living across Binh Phuoc and Cambodia, influenced by cultural exchanges between the two regions. Bu Biet, Bu Bung, and other smaller groups often distinguished by dialect, lifestyle, and local beliefs. Despite differences in names and minor customs, the Stieng subgroups maintain tight connections, with no administrative boundaries dividing them. Shared festivals, intermarriage, and religious practices foster a unified cultural space. Due to overlapping settlements with other ethnic minorities like the Mar, Manong, Khmer, and Choro, the Stieng culture reflects a blend of influences. Remarkably, even with long-standing interactions, they've preserved their distinct identity. Historically, the Stieng stood alongside the Vietnamese during resistance wars. Elders recount how their communities shared food, protected soldiers, and in some cases, gave their lives for the revolution. Today, the bond between the Stieng and the Kin majority continues in solidarity, especially in new economic zones and resettlement areas. When speaking of the Stieng, three words often arise: forthright, resilient, and harmonious. They speak plainly and honestly, with no pretense or hidden agendas. They are resilient in their forest-bound lifestyles, farming, hunting, and living amid the challenges of nature. They live harmoniously in their communities. Serious conflicts within or between Buon and Sok are rare. Above all, their hospitality is remarkable. Anyone who has visited a Stieng village can attest to their warmth. A quick but hearty meal of sticky rice, grilled forest meat, forest leaf soup, and rulkon, fermented rice wine drunk through bamboo straws, all served with lively stories by the fire. The Stieng people, honest dwellers of the red basalt highlands, are living testimony to a unique and enduring indigenous culture. They may not be loud or flashy, but they possess a spiritual richness and cultural value that deserves recognition and preservation. In the following sections, we will delve deeper into the customs, beliefs, arts, and daily life of the Stieng people, where every ritual echoes the forest, every song recalls the past, and every cultural thread beats with the heart of a resilient ethnic heritage. If spiritual culture is the soul of a people, then material life is the body that nourishes it. For the Stieng, everything from their homes, meals, clothing, and carrying baskets carries the breath of the mountains and forests. Every object and everyday routine reflects their close bond with nature. The Stieng have long lived in stilt houses built from wood, bamboo, and rattan, raised on tall pillars to keep out wild animals and floodwaters. These stilt houses are not just dwellings, but the center of family life, ceremonies, culture, and kinship. A typical stilt home includes a large main room for communal living, receiving guests, and holding rituals. A hearth corner where cooking is done and evening conversations happen. The underfloor area used to shelter livestock or store tools. Roofs are thatched with local leaves, like trung quan or tran, or clay tiles. Walls may display gongs, spears, crossbows, and other sacred items reflecting the family's faith and status. Today, in places like Bu Dong or Phước Long, many families have switched to concrete homes, yet stilt houses are preserved as village souls and cultural symbols. The Stieng traditionally weave their own fabrics and tailor garments from cotton or forest fiber threads, naturally dyed with tree leaves. Clothing isn't just practical, it signals identity, gender, age, and community role. Women's attire. Long, ankle-length skirts, often deep indigo, decorated with red, white, or yellow stripes. Short jackets or shawls. Beads and large bronze, silver earrings. Some women also tattoo or blacken their teeth. Men's attire. Historically, loincloths, bare chests, or shoulder-wrapped cloth. Today, common wear includes pants and shirts, though traditional garb returns for festivals. A distinctive hand-woven headpiece kan tho come with simple pattern waves, terraces, crescent moon symbolizing labor, environment, and spirituality. Meals among the Stieng are not just to satisfy hunger, they are moments of gathering, sharing, and connecting to ancestors and spirits through modest yet heartfelt rituals. Staples. Sticky rice, especially upland glutinous rice, sometimes cooked inside bamboo to preserve aroma and moisture. White rice, especially where there's king cultural blending. Dishes. Forest meat steer, wild pigs, birds, squirrels grilled, smoked, or stewed with wild leaves. Stream fish grilled over fire, steamed in ginger leaves, or fermented into fish sauce. Forest greens leaves like bep, tau bay, bamboo shoots, wild greens essential companions. Specialties like roasted bamboo shoots, fried crickets, bitter eggplant with chilies, or can thort, stew cooked inside a gourd shell. Drinks. Rulkon, fermented rice wine. Made from upland glutinous rice with herbal starters, fermented in earthen jars, sipped through bamboo straws typically reserved for ceremonies, weddings, and offerings. For generations, the Stieng have lived mainly by Swidden, slash and burn, agriculture clearing forest, burning, sowing, tending, and harvesting in natural cycles. Key features of Stieng Swidden: no chemical fertilizers or industrial pesticides. Intercropping: rice, maize, beans, pumpkins, gourds, sugarcane, tied to rituals honoring the land and the new rice harvest. Besides farming, they also hunt and trap using crossbows, spears, bamboo snares. Forage for bamboo shoots, mushrooms, honey, medicinal plants. Raise free-range pigs, chickens, ducks around the home. This self-reliant, largely market-independent economy fosters resilience, minimal material anxiety, and strong survival skills. The Stieng are renowned for bamboo weaving and textile weaving, no machines, just skilled hands and nature's inspiration, creating durable, beautiful, culturally rich items. Basketry. Baskets, trays, carrying packs gui made from bamboo, lo-o, rattan. Stieng carrying baskets often have pointed bottoms, distinctive design for forest use and drainage. Textile weaving, mainly by women, on wooden frames set on the floor. Threads dyed with plant leaves, buha, bouquet bark, turmeric, indigo. Each piece of cloth tells a story, capturing cultural identity in stitch and hue. Blacksmithing. Some villages still forge knives, axes, crossbow parts using stone and charcoal grinding, an endangered craft that once symbolized self-reliance and skill. Introduction to the Stieng people, the children of the eastern southern highlands. Who are the Stieng? Amid the vast forests and crystal-clear streams of Vietnam's southeast highlands lives a community that for generations has lived in deep harmony with nature, the Stieng. They may not be numerous or widely known in the media, but they carry within them a rich, distinct cultural heritage rooted in mountains, fields, and unique local festivals. To many in the Mekong Delta lowlands, the name Stieng may still be unfamiliar. But for people in Binh Phuc, Tay Ninh, Lum Dong, and the borderlands of Cambodia, Stieng neighbors are kin, classmates, colleagues, and a proud representative of a deep-rooted native highland culture. Geography and settlement. Today, the Stieng primarily live in Binh Phuc province, notably in Bu Dong, Bu Gia Merp, Loc Ninh, Hon Quan, Phuc Long, with smaller communities extending into Tay Ninh, Duc Nong, Lam Dong, and across the Cambodian border. They often reside in clusters of hamlets, buon, sok, nestled in forested hills or midlands near streams, arable land, hunting and cultivation areas. Each hamlet is led by an elder or respected figure who not only governs daily life, but also safeguards the community's cultural spirit. Population and language. As of the 2019 census, Vietnam's Stieng numbered about 85,000, placing them among medium-sized minority groups. Though not as populous as the Tay, Thai, or Hmong, they maintain tight-knit communities, a strong collective ethic, and a deep commitment to preserving their own culture. The Stieng language belongs to the Mundé Khmer, Austroasiatic family. It has a distinctively robust and earthy tone, closely related to languages like Mar or Minong, and is passed down orally. Unfortunately, rapid modernization and the spread of mainstream education have led many younger Stieng to use Vietnamese more often than their mother tongue. Still, village elders, folk culture artisans, and language preservation programs are working hard to revive and teach the Stieng language as an integral part of their spiritual heritage. Subgroups among the Stieng. The Stieng are not a monolithic group, but divided into smaller subcommunities, each with unique traits in customs, dialect, or livelihood. For example, Bu Lo, centered in Bu Dong, Binh Phuc, known for retaining many original rites and fallow, field farming practices. Bu Dec, inhabiting areas between Binh Phuc and Cambodia, reflecting a blend of cross-border cultural traits. Bu Biet, Bu Bung, and others, distinguished by dialect, lifestyle, local belief systems. Though names and certain customs vary, all Stieng groups remain tightly connected, intermarrying, celebrating festivals, upholding shared beliefs without administrative or cultural segregation. Relationship with other ethnic groups. Living amidst other minorities, the Mar, Minong, Khmer, Cho Roth Stieng have absorbed intercultural influences while fiercely preserving their own identity. In wartime history, they stood side by side with ethnic Vietnamese kin, sharing food, sheltering soldiers, even sacrificing their lives. Today, in resettlement and economic development zones, this Stieng kin solidarity remains strong, anchored in mutual respect and shared memories. For the Stieng, family is more than a shelter, it's their roots, ancestors, a micro-community where values are taught and physical and spiritual nourishment is passed down. Their approach to marriage and child-rearing is grounded in respect, simplicity, and humanity. 1. Family structure. Multi-generational bonds. Extended households are the norm. Grandparents, parents, children all share a long stilt house. Each corner has its purpose, but meals and kitchen fires are shared. Father's role. The main provider and guide leading big decisions. farming, teaching sons how to hunt and work the fields. Mother's role, keeper of the hearth, managing cooking. Ancestor rituals, teaching daughters sewing, weaving, and manners. Elders hold absolute respect. Their advice is like law, especially on marriage, fields, and funerals. Children are raised communally. There's no strict mine or yours in Stieng, saying the whole hamlet is the mother of the children. Evenings by the fire, grandfather telling stories, grandmother weaving, parents singing are the Stieng's first school. 2. Men's and women's roles. Equality in diversity of tasks. While chores are differentiated, gender roles are complementary and respected. Men handle heavy fieldwork, hunting, house building, communal labor, and passing survival skills to sons. Women grow vegetables, harvest bamboo shoots, cook, weave, care for children, and safeguard ancestor rituals. They also often manage household resources, food storage, and spending decisions on equal footing with men. Marriage is a major event involving both families and the whole hamlet. Courtship and proposal. Young people meet at festivals or markets. When both agree, the groom's family sends an intermediary to the bride's home. Families discuss ancestry compatibility, health, destiny, and consent. Betrothal ceremony. Simple but solemn. Offerings include wine, upland rice, pork, hand, woven cloth, silver bracelets, and a rooster. The bride's family accepts, sharing a celebratory meal. Wedding ceremony. Held at the bride's or groom's home, the entire hamlet is invited, festive as a village fair. The couple receives a fragrant herbal bath, followed by the village elder tying red strings around their wrists, blessing a happy marriage. There is gong dance, rukon, communal wine, and symbolic exchange of bracelets promising lifelong fidelity. Bride moves in. After the wedding, she moves to the husband's house. On her first day, the mother-in-law teaches her how to wrap rice, weave a carrying basket, trim vegetables on initiation into her new family's culture. Despite relocation, ties to her natal family remain close. Having a child is secreta continuation of the lineage. Childbirth. Mothers give birth at home by the kitchen fire, assisted by their own mothers or grandmothers. Strict postpartum care. No leaving the house for 7 days, no river fish, no forest trips. A newborn's name is chosen by elders often based on the birthday's circumstance. For example, Bo Roy for a rainy birth, Diang wishing strength like the wind. Raising children. By age 5, children know how to weave baskets. By 8, they help in the fields. No corporal punishment. Learning is through storytelling and role modeling. Boys learn hunting and shelter building. Girls learn cooking and sewing skills vital for survival. Stieng children grow up self-reliant, affectionate, nurtured by an intergenerational communal upbringing. Death isn't a moment of absolute sorrow, it's a respectful send-off. The Stieng believe the departed simply move to another realm and deserve a proper farewell. Funeral. The deceased rests at home, watched over by family who tell stories and sing lullabies as if they were sleeping. After 1-2 days, the body is buried in a handmade wooden coffin, often on forest land near the village. Personal items, baskets, gongs, axes, clothes, rice are buried with them. Secondary burial, Ting ceremony. Held after 1-2 years to officially bid the spirit to the ancestors. After it, mourning ends. Elders say the soul is at peace and tears cease. A Stieng family overflows with love, duty, and faith. Marriage binds not just 2 people, but 2 lineages and the entire hamlet. Bearing and raising children is cared for not only by parents, but by the whole community. Amid modernizations, mint houses replacing stilt huts, cell phones replacing mouth organs, the Stieng's deep familial bonds, humble weddings, and their guiding principle, honor elders, love children, flow on like a clear stream through the highlands. To modernize, education might mean chalkboards and classrooms. But for the Stieng people, education wears a different shape. It is grandparent tales, a Ken flute at dusk, the path into the fields, a lullaby, a child falling then rising amidst the forest. Where every life skill is entwined with nature, knowledge lives not on paper, but in hearts and hands. Education isn't merely literacy, it's learning to live, to be human, and to love one's roots. The family is the first school for every Stieng child. There's no blackboard or chalk lessons come from. Bedtime stories. As grandfather recounts tribal origins, grandmother tells forest spirits tales, mother sings lullabies in the Stieng tongue. Daily routines. Children follow mom gathering bamboo shoots, dad setting traps, grandfather catching fish, each act a lesson. Observation. Kids aren't forced. They watch, imitate weaving, lighting the hearth, drying seeds. By age 6, a child may already know how to trap birds, recognize medicinal plants, weave a simple Baskida living curriculum. Elders and craftspeople are the living encyclopedias of Stieng wisdom. They lead rituals, decide community matters, and pass down traditions. Village heads know auspicious days, building houses, conducting ceremonies, reciting ancient chants. Artisans teach gong dance, cloth weaving, instrument making, no books, just hands-on practice. Every festival becomes a collective classroom. Stories, chants, and craft sessions form impromptu lesson plans. Children learn because they watch, join in, create. Living in the forest, the Stieng learn survival from nature itself. Their traditional knowledge is rich, oral, unwritten. Herbal medicine. Papaya leaves to reduce fevers, juju bark for coughs, other plants for wounds, rituals combined with remedies by forest healers, thamo. Ancient agriculture. Sowing by lunar calendars, avoiding harmful wind months, mixed cropping of rice, corn, beans, using forest compost and ashes as fertilizer. Hunting and foraging, navigating by sun and moss on trees, building bamboo snares along animal trails, distinguishing edible from poisonous plants, fungi, insects, a mastery rarely matched in cities. There is no formal ethics class, but the Stieng teach character through everyday life. Respect elders. Children pour water for grandparents first at meals. Never sit carelessly before adults. Honesty. Liars risk the forest spirit's wrath. Yang Rung punishes deceit. Community spirit. Shirkers who refuse communal work are deemed not yet mature. Scoldings come as folklore or parable. A fish that swims upstream gets banged by rock, so goes someone who rejects virtue. So children absorb moral lessons as naturally as rain absorbs into earth. Over the past 2 decades, formal education has begun to penetrate Stieng villages. Children now attend school, learning Vietnamese, math, science. Many continue to high school or university. Benefits: broader knowledge, tech, literacy, careers as teachers, nurses, officials helping elevate the community. Challenges: language loss, fading sacrificial rituals, declining ability to identify medicinal plants. Observation-based learning is giving way to screens and YouTube. As an elder laments, the boy learns math and letters, but he can't set traps or spot forest herbs. Soon he'll lose our ancestral path. Yet many villages successfully combine both educational paths. Schools teach standard subjects. Homes and community sessions teach Stieng culture. Some schools run Stieng language classes, weekly gong dance events, guest elders teaching forest skills. Communities host storytelling days or forest herb identification days, so children learn joyfully and preserve their heritage. This blending promises a bright future. Stieng children may journey far, but they still know where they come from. For the Stieng, education is not learning to test, but learning to live in the forest, in fellowship, in integrity. Lessons aren't written on paper, they're etched into hands and hearts, from managing a smokeless hearth to carrying rice without straining shoulders, from respectful greetings to words that preserve harmony. In the age of tech, the Stieng risk losing ancestral wisdom, yet they adapt with care, stepping into modern life without abandoning their origins. It is this measured, heartfelt transformation that makes the Stieng journey both inspiring and humbly powerful. Transformation in modern life, when the Stieng stand between two worlds. 1. Major changes in economic structure. From self-sufficiency to market economy. In the past, the Stieng lived in near isolation, producing what they consumed, with very little trade. However, since the 2000s, with the construction of roads, state policies promoting settled agriculture, and the agricultural boom, they have stepped into the world of commodities. Many households shifted from slash-and-burn rice farming to growing cashews, rubber, pepper, and coffee cash crops with higher income. Some families began small businesses or ran household farms. New village crafts emerged, weaving brocade for tourists, bottling fermented rice wine, crafting small gongs as souvenirs. Pros and cons. Higher income brought mobile phones, motorbikes, and televisions. But dependency on the market increased when cashew prices dropped, whole villages worried. Chemical fertilizers and pesticides gradually replaced traditional organic compost, affecting ecosystems and health. 2. Urbanization and new construction. Stilt houses vanish. One of the most visible changes is in housing architecture. 2 decades ago, entering a Stieng village meant seeing only stilt houses. Today, concrete houses with red tin roofs and yellow or green painted walls are common. Many stilt houses have been dismantled due to fire risks, termite damage, or social pressure to keep up with others. Only a few are preserved for community tourism or ceremonial purposes. Along with the stilt houses, traditional hearths are fading. Young people prefer gas or electric stoves, while elders sit alone tending small fires in corner kitchens. 3. Changes in lifestyle and community practices. From collective to individual. In the past, villagers helped build houses together. People automatically gathered for funerals or weddings. Children played together all day, few had personal toys. Now, young people hesitate to ask neighbors for help, everyone minds their own business. Kids play on phones more than they practice gong dances. Weddings are catered. Rice wine is replaced by canned beer. Of course, not all villages are the same. Some still maintain traditional spirit. But change is undeniably present, silent yet powerful. 4. Shifting family values and gender roles. Stieng women increasingly pursue higher education, becoming local officials, teachers, or workers in Ho Chi Minh City. Men no longer dominate as family heads. Many households are financially managed by women. Children no longer live with parents forever. Many move out for work, returning only for festivals or New Year. However, intergenerational conflicts have also grown. Elders complain, young folks don't worship the yang spirits anymore. Youth find traditional rituals cumbersome, preferring to live fast and eat quick. 5. Education and integration. Opportunity or challenge. Education is the clearest bridge between the Stieng and the outside world. Thanks to schooling, many young Stieng people attend university, becoming doctors, lawyers, and journalists. Use technology to make videos, live stream their festivals, and promote local culture. However, some forget their native tongue and traditional skills like basket weaving or ancestor worship. Schools don't teach gongs or fabric weaving. The most vital cultural elements are considered extra. Many young Stieng now stand between two worlds. One is their roots parents, stilt houses, fields, and gongs. The other is the new world, urban life, technology, and finance. The question remains, can they hold on to both? 6. Positive developments within the community. Undeniably, modern Stieng communities are progressing with many bright spots. Improved infrastructure. Roads reach villages, facilitating transport and trade. Widespread access to electricity and internet. Kids attend online classes. Adults video call their children. Projects in community tourism, gong preservation, and Stieng language classes are underway. Some villages have successfully merged cultural preservation with economic development, running homestays, performing gong dances, teaching traditional cuisine. The key point: the Stieng themselves are driving these efforts without coercion or imposition. 7. values quietly fading. Nevertheless, many traditional values are fading in silence. The Stieng language is rarely spoken. Children mainly speak Vietnamese. No one tells old folk tales at night anymore. Phones and cartoons have taken over. Many youths can't play gongs, don't know rituals, and view traditions as superstition. An elder in Budong once said, "When I die, who will keep the gongs? The young don't want to learn, they just want to make money. If the roots are lost, what's left of the Stieng?" Not only after UNESCO recognized the Central Highlands gongs as World Heritage did the world notice Vietnam's ethnic minorities, but that recognition rang an alarm. Cultural heritage won't survive unless lovingly preserved, passed on, and protected. For the Stieng, culture encompasses both tangible and intangible treasures, living artifacts that deserve respect and safeguarding. 1. Intangible heritage. A. Stieng gongs, the breath of the mountains. Though part of the wider gong culture of the Central Highlands, Stieng gongs are uniquely their own. Played individually, not as ensembles. Slow, steady, deep rhythms like earth conversing with sky. Each gong belongs to a family, a rite, a ceremony never casually interchanged. A gong is not an instrument, it's a soul, as Elder Du Men put it. B. Folktales, epics, legends. The Stieng's oral stories remain rich yet underexplored. Tales of upland rice's origin, of Yang sending rain, of a youth riding a deer over 3 mountain ridges to rescue his lost sister. Mythical, moral narratives explaining the universe in folk terms. This treasure trove suits folk theater, animated films, or bilingual children's books if curated and retold thoughtfully. C. The Stieng language. A Mundé Khmer tongue with rich sounds, Stieng includes detailed words for trees, animals, phenomena. Though endangered, it survives in some villages, lullabies, chants with real potential for revival if taught properly. D. Traditional festivals. Key ceremonies still held. New Rice Celebration, 12th lunar month. Soul calling rites, Bo Kong. Burial rites, Tung Ong. Going to the field, ceremonies. Coming of age rituals. These living traditions, if paired with respectful cultural tourism, can preserve identity and drive sustainable development. 2. Tangible heritage. A. Traditional stilt houses. Stilt houses have distinctive features. Wooden floors, thatch or leaf roofs. Flexible spaces, hearth at the center. Raised to shelter livestock and tools, protect from wild animals. Though vanishing, some remain intact and could be preserved as living museums. B. Ancient gongs and instruments. Villages still safeguard centuries-old gongs. Bamboo flutes, mouth harps, string drums made from buffalo hide crafted from forest materials offer unique cultural tourism products. C. Handicrafts and tools. Bamboo baskets, hunting traps, forest knives, weaving tools reflect daily life and aesthetic values. Stieng baskets have distinct shape-sharp bases, narrow waists different from neighboring ethnicities. 3. Cultural tourism product opportunities. The New Rice Festival can be developed into live festival performances combined with cooking and ruor kun, tube wine, demonstrations. Stieng gong traditions can be shared through workshops teaching gong playing for visitors. Brocade weaving may be developed through craft villages, offering hands-on experience and selling souvenirs. Folktales can be turned into animated films and bilingual illustrated storybooks. The Stieng language can be promoted via online learning platforms and incorporated into local school programs. Traditional stilt houses may be restored as homestays and serve as immersive living culture spaces for tourists. 4. Recommendations for conservation and development. Develop a national intangible heritage dossier specifically for Stieng gongs, distinct from the wider Central Highlands gong space. Establish small community museums in Budong and Loc Ninh, exhibit artifacts, audio recordings, folk stories. Organize annual Stieng cultural festivals involving locals, students, and researchers. Train youth with talent in gongs, weaving, language to become future custodians. The heritage of the Stieng doesn't live behind glass or only in books, it lives in people. The stilt houses, firesides, bamboo baskets, gong voices, nightly lullabies. Preserving Stieng culture isn't museumizing the past, it's giving the present depth and the future a foundation. When what once was deemed backward becomes precious, it's time we listen and safeguard the voice, the gaze, the soul of the mountains through the Stieng people. After countless days wandering the red basalt land, sitting beside the stilt house hearth, listening to each gong beat, each tale from the elders, I came to a quiet realization. The Stieng people are not being left behind. They're simply walking slower so they don't lose themselves along the way. This small group, modest in population but mighty in spirit, is doing what not every community can, preserving their roots amidst modern winds, keeping their gongs beside smartphones, safeguarding their culture even as they move forward. The Stieng don't need to become a symbol, nor do they seek praise in flowery words. All they ask is to be truly heard with respect, with sincerity. Because in a world that transforms by the hour, the fact that a small community still lights the fire of tradition, still weaves handkerchiefs, still beats the gongs to celebrate new rice, that, in itself, is extraordinary. An old village elder tends the fire as his grandchild studies beside the flickering light. Tradition and the future coexist in a single small room. Inside a rustic stilt house, an elderly man in indigo garb blows into a kitchen fire, the red glow highlighting his wrinkled face. Beside him, a child in school uniform studies at a wooden desk made from tree trunks, with books and a phone atop it. Gongs, woven baskets, and brocade cloths hang on the wall, capturing harmony across generations. A young Stieng adult leaves the city to return to the village, becoming a teacher, artisan, storyteller. They become a bridge between yesterday and tomorrow. A young woman stands before a small classroom, holding a traditional woven cloth. Behind her, the blackboard reads, "Lesson, Stieng language and festival gongs." Students both listen and practice weaving. Outside the window stretch cashew fields and green mountains, symbolizing a return that is deliberate and full of purpose. The Stieng are a unique color in the cultural mosaic of Vietnam: quiet, sincere, resilient. A wide shot of the village at dawn. Stilt houses nestled among cashew trees, kitchen smoke curling upward, villagers preparing for a new rice festival. Young people play gongs, elders chew betel and share stories, children dance the shuang. In the distance, a cell tower, health station, and modern school roof shimmer, suggesting balanced growth without cultural loss. The Stieng, with their deep-toned gongs, wooden stilt homes, hands weaving baskets, and prayers calling the Yang Gave, offered us a new lens on culture. It's not only about what is old, but what remains alive. And when an ethnic minority still believes in their mother tongue, still passes down their festivals, still beats the gong every harvest season, they are never small. They are a sacred spirit nestled in the highlands of Vietnam.